Today I'm actually going to share with you my 5-minute mobility routine at the desk, which carries over to how you manage your day-to-day stress and also maybe experiencing any back pain or discomfort, and how you can be proactive about things, get more out of your day and have that much more fun and energy by the time you finish your workday and get home to play with your kids or do all the fun things that you love to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. Matt. Welcome to my quick self-help videos where I share simple and easy tips on stretching and movement to help you improve your quality of life. Remember to share and subscribe.
Today, I want to share with you some ideas on how you can actually help your day be that much better. If you find yourself getting stiff and aching and sore in your back, or just your stress levels building up, I want to share with you some things that I've found worked really well, some things that have worked really well for our patients here in the office, and some things that you're probably going to find useful as well. So first of all, if you're just tuning in watching this, it's imperative that you actually stand up, take a moment to watch this, bring your phone up, support your elbow like this, and bring your phone up just like so you get in that neutral position and don't find yourself stuck over like this. Because keep in mind, the more you practice this posture like this, the more tense, the more tight everything's gonna feel. You're also just telling your brain to be more tense and potentially more stressed out. And so there's a couple of things that I focus on. And number one, of course, that is making sure you stand up every 20 to 30 minutes. If you haven't implemented yourself with a standing desk yet, please take a moment, find one, do some research, invest in yourself, get yourself a standing desk, even grab a couple of pillows, right? Grab a couple of pillows underneath your laptop, put it on the kitchen counter to bring yourself up, and that probably doesn't cost you a thing other than your time to set it up. So think about that. Really good for your spine and helping you be more alert and energetic. So now that you've taken care of the walking, the standing part, what are the key things that I find work really well? Well, let's work on the upper body first. So some of the key things I find work really well when it comes to working on the upper body, and of course, as you're tuning in and watching this, I'd love to see more of you. So if you're enjoying it, please take a moment to click like and consider subscribing as well so that we can interact some more too. So back to the part for the upper body. Grab yourself a band just like this. You can probably find one at your local sporting goods store or off of Amazon, order it online. And all I would suggest is keeping a band in your desk and learning how to engage your upper back. But here's the catch. Focus on letting your shoulders drop down. Because if you're too much like this, you're going to be keeping those traps tense and all those small muscles more tense and probably leading into more tension and potentially more stress and being maybe more anxious. So what I want you to do is let your shoulders sink down, and you'll notice I got a specific setup. I'm going to have my palms up, and I'm just going to bring the band across my chest like this. And I'm going to focus on at least 2 sets every single day, back to back. Do 1 set, rest 30 seconds to a minute, and then do another set. 2 sets of at least 15 to 20 reps. And preferably, I know I said do it once a day, but preferably do it in the morning and again after your lunch break. I find that especially useful if I find myself stuck at the desk a lot. Help open up the upper back and learn how to use the upper back muscles again so that you don't feel like you're getting shorter and tighter through here and everything back here is getting essentially stretched and weaker. So consider that band, great thing to have. Now, one of the other things that I think about in terms of the upper body is just getting your arms up over your head like this. Because we're spending so much time from here to here most of the day, it's no wonder that if you go and try to move, maybe if you don't have those ranges, maybe you end up experiencing, if you break down and the function starts to deteriorate, you may experience upper back pain, discomfort. You may be talking about your ribs being popped or things irritated. So focus on finding that range of motion up here. And one easy way to do that, now this one you can do in the gym, or if you find yourself a doorway like this, all I will do, right, is either grab the bar at the gym or just on a doorway like this, and I'm going to turn my back to you, so just stay with me. Just like this, reach through, and I'm going to think about cueing my stomach muscles just a bit, maybe 10, 20%, and I'm going to lean through, squeeze my glutes a little bit, but just pause. And what you can do is focus on breathing. With this one, you can hold it for 30 seconds to a minute right there, opening you up, learning to find this range of motion versus always being stuck down here in this range of motion. So 2 really key things to help open you up, especially if you are sitting at the desk like this. This is going to help give you some more energy, help be proactive about your mobility, because often at times the ranges of motion that we don't have is often where we break down and find ourselves injured. So keeping those shoulders independent, keeping that upper back engaged is going to be critical. So one position that I find useful is just actually sitting down in the bottom of the squat. And remember, we talked about finding those ranges of motion. If you find yourself stiff, and I mean, when I first sit down in this, I find myself stiff. But what I do is that my goal is actually to spend 5 minutes on the majority of days sitting down at the bottom of the squat. And what I'll do is I'll use my elbows to actually push my knees open. And now what that does is helps maintain those ranges of motion that if you don't use them, guess what? You start to lose them. So I'll start with 5 minutes, right? And my goal lately has been 5 minutes simply because I cut things back a little bit. I used to do 8 to 10 minutes, but I find that at least 5 minutes is what works for me in terms of the maintenance and helping maintain those hip ranges of motion. So I find I can still get performance in the gym in terms of finding that end range at the bottom of the squat. Now, I know not everybody can get here, right? And I'm sure there's lots of variations that look way better than mine. But what I'm going to suggest is if you can't get there for 5 minutes, start with 30 seconds, start with less is more, or start with a door jam. And what I mean by a door jam is actually just grabbing onto a door handle or a door jam just like this and coming down so that you actually have something to hold on to. And you'll notice with this, a lot of times you can maintain a little more upright of a position and sit right down. And if this is all you can handle for 30 seconds, then make it 30 seconds. But you've started with a routine where you know that if you compound it over 2 months, 3 months, do it for a year, 5 years, you start to notice your hips open up, things work a little easier. And oftentimes keeping those hips with a great range of motion will really carry over to helping protect your low back, helping you thrive, and being proactive about less likely to end up in situations where your back hurts, and if you're experiencing pain, that may create more stress in your life because you can't do all the things that you want to do. So consider that, and bringing it back to some basic hip stretches, which I always love. And this is the last one. Now with some basic hip stretches, what I'll do is I'll actually hang out here. I'll keep my torso upright and I'll lean forward just like this, and I'll breathe into it. And I'll breathe into it to the point where I may hang out here for 1 minute and maybe 5 minutes, but a lot of times I'll do this on the edge of my bed at night, just soft surface, and I can find those ranges of motion in my hip. And what you're doing is actually finding those ranges of motion that you don't necessarily get into throughout the day. So you can start with 30 seconds down there. If it's a lot when you bring in your hip into external rotation, start on a softer surface like a couch, and then start building your routine from there. But you can see how helping yourself move at your big joints can really be helpful in the sense that maintaining your mobility, your independence, less likely to experience dysfunction and break down and potentially end up with pain. So consider all that today, and consider it's the simple things that build you up over time. And sharing a little bit of personally, in terms of how I manage my spinal health, it's those simple things, but at the key of it is really corrective chiropractic care. And I've been getting checked regularly for the past 18 plus years, very regularly, every 1 to 2 weeks. And it's been a big part of my life in terms of helping with my own health, helping play full out. I'm always more relaxed after I get adjusted, and just find things work better. And I keep up. I get adjusted so I can keep up with my kids, live full out, and keep up with doing these videos and our practice members and patients in the office. But I've talked about it before, time and time again, how you manage your stress and your spinal health is critical for overall health. And oftentimes those upper neck muscles are going to be involved in your stress response, and corrective chiropractic care may actually be a big factor in how you manage your stress response, which is key with how you make your decisions. And being less stressed and managing your stress better helps you improve your day-to-day. If you make better decisions, you're probably going to work out, move more, and eat better, right? Anyways, consider those simple things today. Be consistent. And of course, if you enjoyed this, as I shared before, our mission is huge in terms of helping people understand their health better and knowing that they need better spinal health for overall health. How they manage their stress is important, and that movement, more function equals more health. Anyways, thanks so much for considering sharing so we can help get the message out there, because I simply cannot do it alone. Anyways, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.